My name is Alain Goldschläger, and I'm here to present the award for Jewish thought and culture to Elana Wolff for her brilliant book, Faithfully Seeking Friends. Unfortunately, Elana couldn't be here. She's in Israel, and she couldn't change her flight because for the moment in Israel, only El Al can fly, and so changing a ticket is totally out of the question. But we are lucky to have a son and a video to speak about this. The book, Faithfully Seeking Friends, could be summarized and typified by the first word, which is faithfully. Because here we have a faith of the author at discovering more about Kafka. And she devoted years at trying to retrace the parkour of Kafka, and in the process discover a lot of little fact, interpretation, and details. And for a faithful reader of Kafka, it's a tremendous opportunity to learn not only about the man, but also about the mind of that man, which was kind of a strange one, and which discovers so many new facets for whom I wish to analyze them a little bit. But there is something else which makes this book so appealing. Doing this research, as so many scholars have done for Kafka or some other authors, in this case, and that makes the book so exceptional, we have also a research of the author for herself, guided by Kafka. And so what we have in this book is basically two pilgrimages. The one of Kafka, which is discovered or enlightened, but we have also the progress of knowledge of Kafka and of herself, of Elana. And the book describes this intertwined two stories, two pilgrimages and discoveries. So I will now invite the son of Elana, Naum, to come, bring some word from her, and we will see a video. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to stand in for my mother today and receive on her behalf this esteemed Canadian Jewish Literary Award for her Kafka Quest book, Faithfully Seeking Friends. Of course, it would have been better all around if my mother would have been here today to receive the award herself. But she and my father are in Tel Aviv, where they have been celebrating the high holidays and Sukkot with my sister, brother-in-law, nieces, nephews, family, and friends. My parents, like all Israelis and visitors to Israel, are in an active war situation. My parents were also in Tel Aviv on October the 7th, 2023, at the time of the Hamas attacks. The release of Faithfully Seeking Friends coincided with the start of the war, and the enthusiasm that my mother would have felt upon the publication of the book, years in the works, was zapped, understandably. The war is not over, but we stand firm wherever we are and must prevail. This award in the category of Jewish thought and culture is a bright beacon and wonderful recognition of my mother's work on an iconic modernist Jewish author. As my mother has often said, the journey and the work are not over. Thank you.
Faithfully Seeking Friends is the fruit of many years of reading, writing, mulling, struggling, and questing. I came to Prague modernist author Franz Kafka as an angsty teen, journeying on my own into the world by way of world literature. Kafka got into my head with the Metamorphosis, the mind-bending transformational story of Gregor Samsa, dependable son, brother, employee, and family champion who wakes up one morning in the body of a giant bug. A story based on a fantastical premise, soberly told and somehow, to me, seamlessly real. A protagonist troubled and troubling, yet eminently compelling, an inside-outsider I could relate to. I fell hard for a fictional quasi-hero and his creator. He's never really left me. Kafka has come right up through the center of my life. I pursued him first in his fiction, in translations from German of his stories, his 3 fragmentary novels, America, or The Man Who Disappeared, The Trial, The Castle, then in his diaries, notebooks, aphorisms, and extensive correspondence, his fictional themes of guilt, shame, strangeness, alienation, power, and contrary longing, never very far from his biographical experience. When my own life permitted, almost 15 years ago, I began tracking him in the field, my helpmate and foil, seeking his traces in places he lived, worked, vacationed, and convalesced, where he died and where he was laid to rest. Guided by his writing and by hints, hunches, and indications along the way. Open to being surprised by what might be just off-road, under a bridge, across a meadow, or down a hall. Affirmed by synchronicities and felt connections, disappointed by glitches. Yet even glitches, letdowns, and absences have intimated the company of K. Kafka's is a canny spirit with a frequently capricious sense of humor. Faithfully Seeking Franz reflects my engagement with Kafka's writing and life over the course of many of my own life phases and writing stages. I'm often asked what it is about Kafka that intrigued and continues to intrigue me. I suppose the intrigue has morphed over the years as I myself have morphed. If, however, I have to distill my sustained interest in Kafka down to a few key factors, I would say that Kafka, who wrangled throughout his life with a sense of personhood, relationship to humanity, Jewishness, and connection to Zionism, has impelled me to explore corners and rooms in my own sense of self, alongside ruptures in general existence. And in his singularly lucid yet sliding, often enigmatic language that stokes thought and feeling while eluding pat interpretation, I have found inspiration, guidance, prescience, and even hope. I often go to Kafka to lie on his writerly chest, to paraphrase what he once wrote in his diary of Swedish author August Strindberg, quote, "I am not reading him to read him, but to lie on his breast. He holds me on his left arm like a child. 10 times I almost slip off, but at the 11th attempt, I sit there firmly, feel secure, and have a wide view, end quote. Kafka offers inexhaustible possibilities for connecting and for making sense of the world. In 1903, at the tender age of 20, he famously wrote to his school friend Oscar Pollock, "A book must be the axe for breaking the frozen sea inside us." Kafka provides a metaphorical axe if we take it up and do the work, though the work is never finished. I extend my deepest thanks to the jurors at the Canadian Jewish Literary Awards for choosing Faithfully Seeking France as the recipient of the 2024 award in the category of Jewish Thought and Culture. It's a distinct honor to have my book recognized in this way, especially this year, the centenary of Franz Kafka's death. A kind of acknowledgement, too, to the enduring potency of Kafka's oeuvre and the significance of his writing and life for our times. Deep thanks as well to my Guernica Editions publishers, Michael Marola, Connie Butsu McParland, and Anna Van Valkenburg, for their continuing faith in my work overall and for standing behind Faithfully Seeking Franz in particular. This award would not have been possible without the signal support of Guernica, nor would it have been possible in a more fundamental sense without the constancy, love, and many talents of my husband Menachem, my first reader and intrepid partner M on the quest. Writing may be a solitary endeavor, but no one writes in a vacuum, and no one who writes is ever entirely alone. In writing, we are in communion with ourselves, our language, our subjects, the potential reader or listener, and with the mystery of the creative force field itself. The gratitude is great, and the quest continues. To quote Rabbi Tarfon's saying from Pirkei Avot, the Ethics of the Fathers, "You are not required to complete the work, neither are you free to desist from it." Franz Kafka never permitted himself to be free of desisting from the work. Neither did he feel required to complete it. He may well have taken Rabbi Tarfon's words to heart.